Okay, so I've shown you how to make a two-dimensional needle felted item, and now we're going to go on to do a three-dimensional object. We're going to make a teeny little fluffy owl. The biggest difference being that when you're needle felting the wool fibres, you move them around all the time so you're not creating something flat. So this is what we're going to make next. So you take your wool fibre and holding it in one hand, take the needle and you stab into the wool fibre. And always try and stab directly down, not at an angle, because this is when you snap your needle. Again, lift it and turn it over, but do this much more frequently than you did when you were making the flat piece, because otherwise you will just end up making another flat piece of needle felt. And so you can start sculpting the wool fibres as it becomes harder and harder. So so you can create the bottom of your piece by stabbing into the side of the wool fibres, which will create a sort of flatter base. So you keep going, keep adding wool fibre as you go, and keep shaping it. So yeah, the shape I'm aiming for is like a thimble, so a flat bottom and then rounded top. And when you feel that you can squeeze the piece down and it will hold its shape, then you're ready to move on to the next part. I'm going to give my owl some yellow eyes. So you need to choose where you want the eye to be and take a small piece of yellow wool fibre, sort of roll it into a tiny ball, and then holding it in place, stab through the yellow, pushing the wool fibres into the body of your owl. This is where you need your shape to be nice and hard, because if it's not nice and hard, the yellow wool fibres will just disappear inside the body. And when you're happy with that, repeat on the other side. Then I'm going to take some black wool fibre and sort of just twist it to make it similar to yarn. Take this and outline each eye with some black wool fibre. So for this you'll need to use quite small, short movements with the needle. Okay, so now I've outlined the eyes, I'm going to make the beak. This is going to be quite small. So I start with slightly more wool fibre than I actually need. And you're creating something that is triangular with a pointy end. And when you're happy with it, you're going to trim and then you're going to hold it in place between the eyes and just push the loose wool fibres into the body of the owl. Next thing is going to be the pupils. So for this you're going to take two very small pieces of black wool fibre, put it in the middle of your eye and just push the edges of this down into the yellow circle, and then do the same on the other side and try and make them so that they're both in the middle or both in the same place, whether they're down to one side or up at the top of the eye or in the middle. This is what will give expression to your creature. Because this is an owl chick as well, it needs to be fluffy. So whereas I spend time trimming fluff off, this one I want to be fluffy. So I'm just going to take some loose wool fibre and needle felt this in roughly over the entire body of the owl. And then finally just trim around the eyes so you can see them clearly, and there you have your teeny owl chick. Okay, now I've showed you how to make a simple three-dimensional object, and now I just wanted to give you a quick idea of how you could make something slightly more complicated. Maybe something like this cat with legs, long legs and a tail, to give, using wire to give your creation a bit more structure. So I use gardening wire, so it's quite thick and not too brittle. So this is going to be the length of my cat, from the head through to the tail, and these shorter pieces will be the legs. So all I do is, it's a very simple process, is I just take what will be the legs and twist it around the body. And again, for the other two legs further down. Okay, so this is going to be your structure. So it's very simple, but it's enough. And you just do exactly the same as you did with the smaller projects. So you take some wool fibre and you're just going to carefully needle felt around your structure. So it will be completely encased in the wool fibre. So you'll need to keep turning it over, being very careful that you don't accidentally stab into the wire and break your needle. But you can see how the wool fibre is encasing the wire to give it a bit of structure. So it should stand up as a piece. Okay, these are some of the creatures that I've made. As you can see, I quite like animals and I very much like birds. So it's really good to have lots of images once you've decided what you want to make. So I often use images from the internet, or you can take your own photographs if you have a pet that you'd like to model. So yeah, just use the images, and if you can get an image that shows the back and the front and the sides, so you can have an idea of how the creature looks from every angle. One of the really important things with creatures is their eyes. So getting the eyes right makes a massive difference to how your finished animal will look. So just spend a bit of time looking at the eyes of your creature, looking at the detail around the eyes and the colouring, and remember that big eyes always look a lot cuter. Decide the things you like. That's what I do. I make the things I like. If I find a quirky photograph of an animal that I like, then I will use it as inspiration, and sometimes I just make animals up. This one's quite a made-up bird. So it's part bird paradise, part wader. So you can make it up, or you can use inspiration. So yeah, just go ahead and play and have fun. Thanks for watching this tutorial on needle felting and seeing all the things that I have made, and I hope you will go away with some inspiration to make your own projects and just experiment and have a go. I'm just warning you though that it is quite an addictive process, so just beware.